I am here with Marco Bronzante from Axel Tech. He is their CTO, and we've been talking a little bit about their graphics product, DLG Plus. And DLG Plus is a graphics application which is capable of putting out NDI and SDI graphics that are generated from data. So we're going to take a little bit of a look at that with Marco.
Oh yes, thank you. How are you today?
Good.
So DLG has a very unique GUI. Why? Well, sometimes CG applications are a little complicated on the first approach. So we kind of wanted to give a GUI which is actually like a video mixer. All video mixers are the same. They have a preview bar and a preview window. They have a program bar and a program window. And that's exactly what we have here. So whenever we want to go on air with something, we just select it. In the preview window, we take the take button and it goes on air. Always with a nice transition. Oh, it's never a cut, but it's always a fade or a move or a slide or something like that. And we have a lot of objects. We can put animated bitmaps, any type of bitmap. It's compatible with all formats. We support sequence of bitmaps if we want some animations, but also animation formats. There are not a lot of animation formats on the market. The market actually kind of was more interested in developing codecs for video distribution.
Of course.
264, 265. So a lot of people just use the good old QuickTime animation, which has, just because animation formats have alpha channel, and we want something nice. GIF has alpha channels, but only 1 beat. So they're good for very, very small animations.
Yep.
And there's a new format which is kind of interesting, which is ProRes 4444. That has a alpha channel. It's a little heavy, but with modern computers, it gives a lot of quality, of course. And with CPU use, we can actually use those too. I have a lot of customers which are using.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, well, of course, you can put any type of bitmap, but then let's go to the fancy stuff. The fancy stuff is generations of crawls, tickers, rolls, and clocks, which actually update by themselves, and they take data from several sources. So I have this template, which is a nice music template, and then I have sports. Everybody's interested in sports. So here, we're generating our data from SX file, new Excel files.
Yeah.
Actually, we import data from CSV, from TXT, from Excel, from XML, SQL, and Access database.
That's a lot of acronyms.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're just file
Which
formats.
one do you think people use the most?
I like Excel. You know why? Simply because everybody knows Excel.
Yeah.
You can install it. There's also, we install usually LibreOffice, which is exactly the same thing, and it's free. And it gives the user the actual, view of what's happening. And XML is just hard formatted. You won't understand it. Well, in Excel, you just fill in the cells, and actually we respect a lot of the rules, especially the rich text format. That means the background color, the foreground color, the alignment, the font. So you can change all this in your text and compose a nice, variation on the text.
Do you have an example of that?
Well, actually, the breaking news that you see here is in a ticker format, and those are Excel. So let's see it. I don't know if I have Excel installed here. I hope so. So I'm just going to click here.
My guess is no.
Oh, I don't. Okay, we'll install it next time, let's say, or LibreOffice.
Yeah.
But anyway, that will put up the Excel, and I will see how that data in our samples actually went on here.
Yeah.
There's another nice feature of the Excel. So how do you mix animations and bitmaps into a crawl or a ticker?
Yeah,
and the best
that's a common one.
That's nice. I have a nice example here in which you can see, I'll show you, it's quite nice, on page number 8, which we call our live news. So the crawl on the bottom of the live news has a separator, and it's a small GIF, which I download from the internet. There are thousands and millions of GIFs that you can download. And it's small, so it kind of fits.
It's very small. It's this little world spinning between as a separator between the elements.
Correct, and it has alpha channels, so And well, this gives an example of how to put animations inside a crawl. And how we do that? In the Excel, you insert a hyperlink directly to the animation file, and we will insert it very, very easily. So it's kind of very intuitive, actually. So I suggest Excel. Also, the nice thing about Excel, we support the formulas inside the Excel spreadsheet.
Oh,
so
wild.
this means, I had some customers from Pakistan, and they wanted to do sports coverage of their local cricket, I think it is.
Yeah.
We don't know much such a mouth cricket.
Yeah.
Okay. So what they did is they just downloaded the Excel file from their championship. They kind of inserted formulas and they made a page where they want to display the results that were calculated from the spreadsheet, and they managed
The
it.
total number of at-bats, the aggregate score across multiple innings,
Correct.
that kind of thing.
So what I'm saying is you can actually create a dedicated application starting from an Excel spreadsheet, and we import that data automatically. Of course, we also connect to the internet, so you have RSS feeds, or you have just a web page with some news on it, or in PHP format or text format. You just insert it, and the system will automatically download it and put it on.
Let's talk about layers. How many layers does DLG have?
We do not limit layers. Layers is more like a hardware concept. Here is completely software.
Yeah.
So the issue is you actually have no limitation, and your limitation are your computer resources.
Let's take a look at how many layers we can put up at one time, or show us
Okay.
two layers.
Oh, well, this is, I don't know, 15 or 20 layers of graphics on top here. Let's see. Here I have almost the same.
All
They're
right.
objects, and they're all.
Yeah, I think of those as objects. Now, what if I wanted to take this and put that on, like, I want to do this in a bug.
Oh, okay. Let's see. That's interesting. So we manage in Pages all the objects, and what we have is the system. The main menu, the on-air menu, is divided into our single-page selection and our multi-page selection.
Can you
So-
explain the difference
Yes,
between these?
this is like a video mixer. So let's say you're on your video mixer and you pass from camera 1 to camera 2. What happens is it will show camera 1, and when I go to camera 2, camera 1 will go away and camera 2 will go on air. So it's mutually exclusive, technically speaking.
Yeah.
That means one thing at a time,
Yeah.
one page at a time. The right section is a little bit like upstream keyers in a mixer, and you can have 2, 4, 6, 8. What do upstream keyers do? They add images to the background. So these letters that you see over here, A, B, C, D, actually are layers. So I have one layer on the left, and then I have A, B, C, D, E, and I go up to Z. If those 26 layers are not enough, I have small letters. So we have 52 layers of graphics. So
Yeah.
the issue is, how much can you fill up the screen
Yeah.
before you run out
Yeah,
of your
it's
layers?
not practical to need 50.
Correct.
Four?
Yeah. Actually,
50,
actually,
52.
Actually, I'll tell you a secret. We skipped the X. Because the X's are we have it here, and it wasn't, and we had to divide by 5.
50.
Correct.
Whatever.
Yes, they're
That's
50.
still good.
Yeah, but it's a secret. Don't
Yeah.
tell around. Okay.
Okay.
Nobody noticed until.
Yeah.
So what did we? do?
51.
Yeah.
Because you get this,
The single page selection.
which operates like a switcher.
Correct, which
Okay.
is it's like the background over which all the other letter layers go up, and the priority is fixed from A to Z.
Yep.
So okay,
A is first.
A is first and Z is the last one.
Okay.
Okay. So one thing I wanted to show you is this green meter over here. Since there's no limitation, or
Yep.
it's very unlimited, let's say, what happens is you have to know if your system resource are getting maxed out.
Yeah.
Because on a non-powerful computer they could get maxed out. This is a very powerful computer, I have to say.
Yeah.
And as you say, this is let's say an average between your CPU usage and the actual ability to maintain a straightforward frames per second
Yeah.
on your output in order not to lose smoothness. Okay.
Now we're doing 1080p 60
Correct.
here.
Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're outputting from this to a copy of vMix running on the same system by NDI.
So they're sharing all the resources.
Yeah, but we could output via SDI, via
correct.
key and fill. We
Correct.
have a decklink card in here, which we can do 2 channels of key and fill. If we
Yeah,
had
yeah.
2 channels?
Right,
If
like
we license 2 channels of DLG?
Yeah, correct.
All right, so we have 2 channels. We've got channel 1 and channel 5.
Yeah, so you can select the channel on which you want to go on air, but you also have the multi-channel version of the GUI.
Oh, wow.
So you know it's kind of have you know those big video
It's
mixer
like
with
a-
ME1,
yeah,
ME2, and so forth.
yeah.
It looks like something like
It's
that.
like a big router.
Right, correct, and you can operate and you can go more channels as well. The only thing is, remember that if you choose SDI, always use key and fill separated.
Yeah.
So on a Decklink Duo 2, you get 2 channels of key and fill.
Yeah.
On a quad, you would get 4 channels eventually.
And then you're pretty much done.
You-
But on NDI,
Yeah.
there's really no.
Oh no, there's no limitation.
Yeah.
And we just put up to 4 here.
Okay,
What-
4
one thing-
channels of NDI.
Yeah.
But I see channel 5 here.
Right. Well, yeah, because that's just the number. So you could actually have more. 1 to 4 are usually SDI.
Yeah.
5 to 8 are usually NDI.
So you could have 8 channels mixing SDI and NDI.
Yes, you could.
You could really
would
get kind
need
of.
good CPU.
Yeah, yeah, but
And
it's
a nice-
possible.
It is. It is. One thing about the preview channel,
Yeah.
you can decide whether it's a virtual VGA channel, so you only have it there, or if you really want to send it to an SDI and have a true preview on your mixer or on your SDI monitor in order to get the real sense of what's going to go on there.
Let's go back to where, when I had asked you about layers, you were showing me a way of laying out
Right.
a page.
Correct?
Just
Yeah.
we had talked about data
Well,
earlier.
Yeah, the page is actually an editor, template editor, which is
Yeah.
built inside. So as you see, yeah, you can choose channel, you can move pages from one channel to the other, you can change pages. So the blank page, this is the number of objects which is in the page.
Yeah.
So here I have a page with just 3 objects, and I have a group. Inside the group, I have some text. If you want to double click, yeah, to get inside the group. Okay, let me do it. Let
Yeah.
me do it. Okay, I'm going to go like this, and then like this. Oh no, what I did, it was the I. I means invisible. I clicked on the wrong one. Let me go like this. Not sure what's happening here. Sorry. Yeah, no. Let me
It's
go
my
back
fault.
in. Oh, don't worry, don't worry. So I'm going to go.
You're on channel
page
1.
10. Was it 10?
You're
I'm
on channel 1.
I'm supposed to go on channel 5. Okay. Here I am. So this is the group. Let me double click. Yeah, I got it now. So the group is made out of 3 objects. I have a title, a name, and the media, which is actually an animation which is working on the background. Of course, I can connect a text to any type of file. I can connect it to a CSV, TXT, or XLX file. So if you go File, and then you select, I don't know, I have some Excel files there. Yeah, that one. Then you can actually choose the sheet. I only have 1 sheet in that Excel. That's alignment. Let go here.
Okay.
And you can actually choose from which cell you want to get that data from.
Okay.
So you can make multiple text file and just connect the text file to a single cell in that data.
I see also a lot of other things that this can be connected to. A
Right.
folder.
A folder means if there are objects in the folder, will be like treated as if it was a playlist. So once it
A playlist of.
of text objects. So,
Okay.
Okay. So.
All right.
Okay.
RSS.
RSS
Yep.
feeds. Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube. I think
Like
it's the
comments?
No. Yeah. The
Ch-
comments.
chat.
The chat.
Okay.
Yeah. The comments on the YouTube channel.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp,
Instagram.
we have a very good integration because we have an application called the Social Hub.
Yeah.
What you do is you log into WhatsApp. We have a plugin for Chrome, and what you do is when you select the messages, the small icon with the Social Hub icon will pop up, and actually will allow to send all the messages directly to the DLG, so it can show them in a ticker or a crawl. And the nice thing is, it gets the avatar of the person who is sending the chat. It also sends the small avatar.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
And the classical SMS, of course, and
Yep.
so forth. Okay. A weather plugin also that goes to an open source weather map service on the internet, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I just wanted to check out some of the other layouts that you have here.
Okay.
So this is basically, if I want to add another element to this, I just click
You just
add
select the
object type. So here's media, background, crawl, roll, shape, table,
Right.
squeeze back.
Let me explain some of the strange ones. So Slideshow is kind of nice
Yeah.
because it allows you to do like banners
Yeah.
for a live show, which is kind of nice. You define the timing
Yeah.
and the effects and so forth. Well, crawls and tickers are the most popular.
Yeah.
What's the difference? A crawl just moves continuously, while a ticker comes in,
Yeah.
stays there for a while, and then goes away. And you can decide the number of lines.
Okay.
I have a clock is just date and time or both.
Yep.
But sports clock it's kind of different because like if it goes 58 minutes 59, it won't go 1 hour. It will continue to count 60, 61, 62,
Okay.
and so forth.
Yeah, I see that
Yeah.
here.
A real cool one is the table.
Okay.
What's that? If you connect the table to an Excel file, so you will need to connect it to an Excel file, and just get that one, for example, and you will have to make it a lot bigger. You're here, so just spread it out, and then just put the preview VGA. We're going to get a lot of objects one on top of the other, but it doesn't matter. So it's coming, and you will see this ETA
yeah.
and so forth.
I see it.
But what is that? The interesting thing is it will actually respect the proportions in the sizes of your columns. So what happens is, let's make an example. There are elections, and you have a lot of data coming in.
Yeah.
Usually in templates, what you need to do is put all your text, align them, put them neat, and kind of define one by one where you're going to get your data from.
Yeah.
With the table, it's the Excel spreadsheet with the data. So if it looks good into your Excel with your colors and your fonts and your spacing, what we do is we try to replicate the same proportion and just put it on air. And when you're on air, and when one of the data actually updates because you have a new data coming in from your source, you get like the airport effect. It goes blink, blink, and you see the data updating automatically.
Cool.
Yeah, very
Well, I can tell that there's a lot here. This is a very deep program. Probably the easiest way for people to get familiar with it is you can just go to Axel's website and download it. It's axeltechnology.com. They have demos of all of their products, and you can download it and play with it with the watermark and see how easy it is to generate graphics from your data and connect it to vMix and your other NDI or SDI enabled live production systems. And if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us at usbroadcast.co. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.